Alrighty, quick disclaimer before the video officially starts. All the information I am about to go over and stuff that I am about to talk about can be found in-game. No private server, no leaks, no nothing like that. Very simple for those who don't know. If you want to find this information, fact check me and whatnot. To find the information, you simply open up your menu, go over here to the gallery, wait for it to load. You click Crossing Stars, and you click on Ciaccona. Click the mirror glass, and bam, here you go. Here's everything on Ciaccona. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are here with something different. As you can hear, I am talking, and as you know, I like to be very lazy when I record videos, and most of the time I don't usually talk. So, as you know, this is a rare occurrence. You might be wondering, well, what is this occurrence for? Well, as you can see, we're going over Ciaccona, seeing what she can do and what she does. And before anyone asks, yes, this is found normally in game. It will be shown in the intro, but just to confirm with you once again, I'm on my normal account. This isn't a private server, nothing like that. You can find this just normally in game. Bam, boom, bop, pow. There's Ciaccona. You can do it as easy as that and find everything that we are going to be talking about in the game. So we're not going to be going into theorycraft or anything like that. We're not going to be calculating stats, nothing like that. We're just going to be going over her kit and her eidolons. That's all we're doing. So first off, let's take a look at her kit. Now I did pre-look at it before, right? Nothing too major. I wanted to get a small glimpse of what this was about. And her normal attack, it's pretty simple to understand. She has 4 basic attacks that she does anytime she gets interrupted via dodge or anything else. If you press basic attack, it will resume the attack cycle. So instead of doing a dodge and then doing a dodge attack, you'll actually just go back into the basic attack cycle that you're in. So say I do basic attack 1, basic attack 2, I dodge. Instead of doing a dodge counter, I would do basic attack 3 into basic attack 4. That's how she works. As you can see, basic attack 4 will inflict an arrow erosion, which obviously we can only assume that arrow erosion will be helpful for Cartethia, which obviously you have arrow rover for as well, but we're not going to get into that comparison right now. We're just here to talk about I forgot how to pronounce your name already. Ciaccona. Thank you, brain. Thank you, brain. Anyways, so why am I bringing up the basic attack? Well, that is because, as you can see right here, after basic attack stage 4, Ciaccona starts a solo concert. If Ciaccona's basic attack stage 4 or solo concert ends early, we'll go into the ensemble self later. We'll explain what that is later. For now, we want to focus on this, the solo consort, which is right here. When Ciaccona or ensemble self performs solo concert, they give 24% arrow damage bonus to all nearby resonators in the team. This effect is not stackable. So once you've done your basic attack 4, she'll do a low concert, gives 24% arrow damage bonus. Now, let's go into what the ensemble self is. Up to 2 ensemble selves may exist simultaneously. If Ciaccona's basic attack stage 4 is interrupted, the ensemble selves generated will finish the attack for Ciaccona and enter solo concert. If Ciaccona's solo concert is interrupted, the ensemble selves generated will continue the solo concert for Ciaccona. Oh wait, okay, yeah, so basically sorry, I thought I just read the same thing twice. My brain kind of had a brain fart there. But basically, anytime Ciaccona is going to get interrupted when going into solo consort or during solo consort, if you have one of these ensemble selves out, they'll take over and create the solo consort for you. So no matter what, whenever you get the basic attack 4, if you have an ensemble self, you will always have that 24% arrow damage bonus. Now this is pre, right? We have to wait for her to release to see all this happen. I'm most likely not going to be pulling her because I'm pulling for Chain Leak. But as you can see, this is just pre-release stuff. We don't know what she's going to be like when she fully releases. This is just stuff that we can see in game right now. Now, aside from the 2 situations mentioned above, ensemble self generated by resonant skill will finish Ciaccona's current attack without entering solo consort. So basically, if it is not basic attack 4 or when you are in solo consort, they will not do solo consort, but they will in fact continue an attack if they are generated by the resonant skill. And obviously everything else is heavy attack, aimed attack, mid-air attack, dodge counter, all that fun stuff. So now let's head into the resonance skill. Move a certain distance, dealing arrow damage and inflicting 1 stack of arrow erosion on the target upon hit. Press normal attack in time to cast basic attack stage 2. When Ciaccona interrupts basic attack, heavy attack, mid-air attack, or solo consort with resonance skill, an ensemble sylph is generated. Ciaccona's resonance skill can be cast in mid-air. Now, as we saw here before, if we go back down over to where it says this, the ensemble sylphs generated by resonance skill will finish Ciaccona's attack, but they will not enter solo consort. So just remember, keep in mind when this officially comes out, the ensemble sylphs that you generate with the resonance skill will not go into solo consort. They will finish your attack, but they will not give the 24% arrow damage bonus. Those are only from your basic attack. Alright, now that we have that settled, let's move on to the Forte circuit. When there are 3 segments of musical essence, heavy attack is replaced with heavy attack quadruple downbeat. Consume all music essence to shoot downbeat notes forward to deal arrow damage, pulling in the nearby targets and inflicting 1 stack of arrow erosion on the target hit. Heavy attack quadruple downbeat can be cast in mid-air close to the ground. And as you see, Musical Essence, Ciaccona can hold up to 3 segments of Musical Essence. Casting Basic Attack 4, intro skill recovers 1 segment of Musical Essence. Basically, her Forte circuit, 3 different sections. Basic Attack 4, you get 1. Intro skill, you get 1. She can hold up to 3. Use all of them to get an enhanced heavy attack that applies arrow erosion. Alright, now that we've gone over that, let's just do these right here, since we're right here. So let's see her second upgrade. Ciaccona's Resonance Liberation, Sinner's Triple Cadenza, grants Ciaccona a shield equal to 100% of her max HP for 4 seconds. Switching out Ciaccona removes the shield. So as you can see, with her Resonance Liberation, which we'll be going over in a sec, when you have this trace, she gains a shield completely equal to her health. So essentially she just has 2 health bars. Alright, next one. Increases heavy attack quadruple downbeats damage by 30%. Alright, that's pretty simple. Let's move on to the Liberation. Now, Liberation, there's a bit more text with this, as you can see. Now, I'm not going to read everything here, like I did with the other ones, because this is really long. I'm going to keep it short and simple. So basically, when you pop ult, you activate a QTE, and there's 2 options for you to choose. We don't know what those button inputs are going to be yet. I'm just going to call them A and B, right? Because we don't know what the actual inputs are. So we're going to say A is green and B is yellow, right? Or spectral, yep. So A is green and B is yellow. So when you press A, her Resonance Liberation will activate Green Tonic, which will deal arrow damage to nearby targets and inflict a stack of arrow erosion on targets hit, right? So that is there, right? So that is A. B is Yellow Tonic, which Yellow Tonic also deals arrow damage, but instead of applying arrow erosion, it applies Spectral Frazzle. So that is something to note. So A does arrow erosion, B does Spectral Frazzle. So you can run, so from what we're seeing right now, we have to see practical applications. You could potentially run her alongside Zani. Right, she obviously wouldn't benefit from the 24% arrow damage bonus, but she does help inflict those Spectral Frazzles. So who knows just how useful that be. It's like, say you don't have Phoebe, right? I personally, I don't have Peeb. I have Spectral Rover. Having a second person that can inflict Spectral Frazzle might not be so bad after all. That might be actually really good. And another thing, you don't have to worry about being on her at all times. So basically all this jargon right here, what this jargon says is if you switch out without pressing the QTE, she will automatically do Green Tunic. However, if you choose to press B, right, like I said, a hypothetical B, she'll inflict Spectral Frazzle. And if you press B and swap out to a new character, it will stay on that Spectral Frazzle. So keep in mind, if you were to run her when she releases with Zani, you would make sure you have to press whatever that B input is. So that way you could apply that Spectral Frazzle. Obviously there's some more stuff here, like she gets 50% less, exit reticle, body yada yada. Ensemble Sylphs can directly grant arrow damage bonus provided by Sylphs, but that's only an ult. Like I said, a lot of stuff here. Basically, main takeaways from this portion: A input and B input, A arrow erosion, B spectral frazzle. Ensemble Sylphs can go into solo consort. That's pretty much all you need to know about this ult. Nothing else really. It does some damage, but outside of that, the main takeaways are that your Ensemble Sylphs can perform solo consort during the ult, and that you apply arrow erosion with the A input and spectral frazzle with the B input. That's what we need to know. Alright, now that we've gone over that, and I've talked for a little bit, God, I need some water. Let me take a quick cut real quick, and I'll be right back after I've drank some water, because I just talked for a while. Alright, and I am back after drinking some water. So, intro skill, pretty basic. You know, you come in. But there is one thing you do know: if you time your attack correctly when you come in the intro skill, it starts you off at basic attack stage 3, so you can immediately hit the 4th one and go into your solo concert. Pretty good. As for the traces, as you can see, the other ones, she provides crit damage and attack first off. So that's everything else. Oh yeah, also I almost forgot the outro skill. The most important thing of all: arrow erosion damage dealt to targets near the active resonator is amplified by 100% for 30 seconds. Now this, from what I can tell, I'm gonna back out real quick, is basically just arrow version of Peeb. Let me take a look here, because like I said, I don't own Peeb. So look at this. See, absolution. Yeah, here we go. By 10% and granting 100 spectral frazzle damage amplification. It's basically the same thing as this, right? I don't know the difference between amplification and just straight up damage, right? But I'm pretty sure this is another version of Peeb outro skill, but a little less complicated. Yeah, here we go. The active resonator is amplified by 100%. So once again, it's 100% amplification, the same way that Peeb enhances spectral frazzle by 100%. Pretty simple. Thankfully, it's not that freaking giant jargon that Peeb has, but now that we've gone over all the traits and such, let's go into the resonance change. Let's see what her dupes look like. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I had to take a quick pause right before that something happened, but now let's hop right back into this. And like I said, starting off with the first one, casting Resonance Skill Harmonic Allegro grants Ciaccona immunity to interruption for 3 seconds. Casting Basic Attack increases Ciaccona's attacks by 35% for 10 seconds. So basically what you could do is you could do, if I'm remembering correctly, you could do 1, 2, 3. Do your E, time it correctly, you get basic attack 4 off, and then you go into the harmony without being interrupted, so you get that 4% arrow damage bonus. That's nice. As you remember from what we read way back over here, you can see if we go all the way back down, once again, we know that using harmonic allegory makes an ensemble sylph, but the ensemble sylph that is created from the resonance skill does not go into solo concert. So that little 3%, 3 seconds of uninterrupted would be really good, because say you don't have the 2 sylphs out, you have only the single sylph out from the skill you just used. Now you can't be interrupted, so you can go into that solo concert. That's nice. I also hope she's not saying anything there, because once again, these headphones, I can't hear anything. So let's go into the second one now, though. So let's see. I might just mute the audio because I think she's talking. All right, we're just gonna mute the audio here. Okay, that way she's not interrupting me constantly if she is. All right, so on to her second dupe. During Resonance Liberation, Singer's Triple Cadenza, resonators in the team gain 40% arrow damage bonus. So already she's giving 24% arrow damage bonus with the solo concert. Add this on, she's giving a whopping 64% arrow damage bonus. That is pretty good. Like, that's really good. Gion player is going to be eating with this one, I can tell you that much. Holy cow. Okay, on to her third one. Casting Basic Attack Stage 4 additionally grants a 1 segment of musical enhanced resonance skill harmonic allegro gains 1 more charge. Okay, so basically what this is saying is your basic attack 4, now instead of doing 1 on your consort, it gives 2. So you know how, remember how the consort has 3 slots, and every basic attack 4 gives 1, and the intro gives 1? So now instead of that, your basic attack now gives 2. And obviously your resonance skill has 1 more charge. That's pretty decent. Practical application, not too sure. We'll also see when she's fully released and her banner's up. So now let's look at the 4th one. This one, I saw this one earlier. I was like, Jesus Christ, what the? So Ciaccona ignores 45% of the target's defense when dealing damage with heavy attack quadruple downbeat. Like I said, I'm not a theory crafter. I don't know how to calculate the numbers to figure out what her stats are at level 10 with yada 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 attack. I just know 45% ignore on defense is insane. And then she also ignores 45% of the target's defense when dealing resonance liberation damage. That feels insane to me. That feels absolutely insane. Like I said, we won't fully know until we actually get to see people play with her. We get people from private servers doing gameplay reviews and all that, so we don't know anything about that yet. But just on paper, that seems really good. Alright, now let's go down to her 5th one. Gain 40% resonance liberation damage bonus. Holy, put that on top of the 45, that's Jesus Christ. Basically an 85% jump in damage. Damage taken by resonators within and around the range of Resonance Liberation Singer's triple cadenza is reduced by 30%. So not only does her damage on her Resonance Liberation increase, but she also makes it so your team takes less damage. That is really good. Holy cow. That's going to be really good. And finally, when in solo concert, Ciaccona or Ensemble Sylph deals arrow damage equal to 220% of Ciaccona's attack to nearby targets considered resonance liberation damage. Okay, so what have I gathered from reading all this, and what have I gathered from telling you guys all this? Nope, another break, need water. Once again, what have I gathered from all this? From what I'm seeing so far, even if you aren't pulling for copies of her, the way it seems you want to build her is you kind of want her to build her around her heavy attack and her resonance liberation. So whenever you're making echoes, you want to prioritize the resonance liberation and heavy attack. I'm not sure about the basic attack when it comes to the consort. The concert, you know, not consort like consort or dawn, hell no, but concert, because you know my speech is impeccable, as we know. But it seems that from what I'm looking at, you want to focus on heavy attack and resonance liberation when you're pre-farming echoes. So from what we can tell so far, like I said, we don't know full stats yet. It looks like you want to build Ciaccona with attack, resonance liberation, and heavy attack. Now those are the predictions. We'll see once official guide makers do their stuff, you know, do the calculations, all that fun stuff. I'll leave that to them. They have the materials, they have the sources to do that. I don't. I'm just here to tell you what details we have in the live game as of right now. So I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know, did I talk too fast? Did I speed through things too quickly? Did I leave things out that I should have talked about? Please let me know down below, as this is the first time I'm ever doing this. So I do want to make it better and more concise as I go along. So obviously this first one's going to be a little rough, but later down the line as we get more units releasing, I'm going to keep on doing this and we're going to get better and better down the line. So I hope you guys did enjoy this quick pre-release look over of what Ciaccona can do, and I hope to see you guys all when she releases. Peace. I can see the dawn on water's face with the